we want to put this camera thing together. There are difficulties with it, and we've got to do this, and we've got to get a link, and we've got to listen to all this stuff. And they said, would you be interested in helping us?
This is what it feels like in the opening corner and the first run to Mountain Straight.
One of the real innovations this year will be the means of putting you right into the driver's seat. Well, not in the seat, but next to the driver. To explain how it's going to happen, it's back to Mike Raymond.
Thank you very much, Evan. Well, we're very, very proud of our Channel 7 telecast each year from Mount Panorama, that we can bring you something different, something that's a little extra for you. And of course, last year, our magnificent coverage with the Colour 7 helicopter, which brought you some tremendous shots. This year, of course, our technical experts have been hard at work for the past few weeks developing a camera which we can put into a car under a special arrangement with the Australian Racing Drivers Club.
I listened to all this stuff, and they said, would you be interested in helping us? Because there's going to be a little bit of time involved to get it, which turned out to be 3 months, but to get it going. And I said, sure, we'll do anything. Always the publicist. And they said at the time that they'd been to everybody, Brocky, everybody, Gricey, everybody that was worthwhile, and nobody wanted to know about it. So we started then out at Oran Park, bits and pieces, helicopters, out this day in, day out, until they nearly got it together. And then we went to Bathurst, not sure whether it was going to work. And so much so that it rained before the start, and they came over and said, listen, we've got a bit of a problem. We're getting reflections on which you'd understand, on the camera. What we want you to do is lean over at the different corners and turn this thing here, and then when you clear that and you get to the top of the mountain, turn it back again. Well, that was the start of it.
Well, this is what it feels like, folks, in the first lap, with all this traffic coming over the top of the mountain. There's Peter Williamson right on the tail of a Tirana that isn't running as quickly as Peter Williamson would like to run.
Then the radio stopped working. And actually, when we turned it on and it worked, we had no communication. So I thought, oh, what do I do? So I was told before to watch the helicopter. If it was over the top of me, talk. If he's not, shut up. I said, okay, fine. So off we went, and those clever buggers at Mike Raymond, and they were asking questions without me hearing anything, and I was answering them because they anticipated what I was going to say, and it was quite marvellous what they did.
Okay, Conrod Straight, this is what it feels like coming down, going through the gears, the brakes as we approach the left-hander.
Derek Bell alongside him in the Alpha, but just being slightly outbraked, so we've got a great dice on for the 2-litre cars. They're running neck and neck. You can see the Alpha just slipping inside him there.
I have a lot of chat on my radio. Here we go. Up past Ray Parke. There's Gemini's everywhere. Like General Motors car park. Under the skyline. Look at that view. Out of the top. Oh! Severe. Brakes. Hardly. There's that rotten Volvo. Holding everybody up. What a joke. We're down at pit strike. And we're looking good.
I'll say they're looking good.
Tony Verano corner.
Looking good. That is the understatement of this race. Peter Williamson still leading the class and doing a great job.
Leading the class in 9th position outright. Also leading, of course, all the 3-litre class cars.
And I would think up to, what, 7th overall? with the...
Yes, up to 7th overall with the Federation Falcon retiring.
Okay, Peter, off you go.
Pit straight. We've got about 9 laps to go, and I'm feeling the effects of the day. Starting to get cramps in my legs. I can hardly change gears.
Well, hang in there. I think everyone in Australia is riding with you.
Well, and it's causing me all sorts of discomfort at the moment. I'm really looking forward to the end of this. It's been a long day. This little thing, apart from the clutch, has been first class. I noticed the V8s this year are not quite as fast as they were last year. Things are happening very quickly in these closing stages of the race. There's been a lot of retirements. I'm just keeping a very good gap between myself and the Alpha of AOGDV, Alpha, so that I don't, if I need to stop because of my leg cramps and change drivers, I'll have enough time to do so. But at this stage, I think I'll be okay. I've got Michael Quinn in the pits waiting. I've really got trouble with my left leg. However, it's been a great day.
You're right there, Peter. We'll let you go. We'll stay with you. I'll give him a break for a moment. He's a very, very tough part of the circuit to be concentrating on. We are aware of what's going through a driver's mind, relayed to you live, talking about cramps in the leg. It's been a long day for him, probably more than any other driver in that field. He might have been up leading the race with 8 cylinders, but he's carried out a role that no other driver has carried out in a Hardy Ferodo ever.
Quite marvellous what they did. Nobody woke up about it. And this went on the whole race. And it was quite phenomenal. They're clever people.
I'd like to move along to the 1981 crash. Yes. And there was a marvellous interview there. Do you remember the moment?
1981. How many crashes have I had? The moment of the 81 is at the top of the mountain. Yeah. No, what I remember is I think Christine Gibson was side by side with somebody and they touched, and of course then they got across the road and the road was blocked, and they for the first time they had 3 I think cameras looking at the whole show.
Peter Williamson, it's Mike Raymond. Are you reading me?
Yes, Mike, how are you?
Not too bad, thank you. Well, what runs through the mind of a driver with all your concentration going on passing cars and you come around a corner and the track is blocked with wrecked cars?
Well, at the risk of sounding dramatic, you seem to spend all week here racing, and you work yourself up into a sort of a state of motion to attack this thing over this long duration. And when an immense accident like that happens, and I was sort of parked at the rear of the ambulance, and there are a couple of people hurt. Kevin Bartlett is carried to the back of the ambulance, and another person was placed on a stretcher and placed in the ambulance. And as I said here now talking to you, I'm saying I realise that the risks that are involved in motor racing, you sort of forget. You tear around here and rush down the hill at 140 miles an hour and forget about it. You think you're immortal, and then a thing like that happening, and especially such a sort of an incredible thing. The whole of the Bathurst 1000 has been stopped by an accident. It's unbelievable. And because I'm sitting here now sort of wondering what the heck I'm doing here.
Well, they're moving cars around now, and I suppose it gives the driver a time to reflect and think, why am I involved in this sport? There are the good times and there are the sad times. We're looking at one of the sad machines. It's the Camaro of Kevin Bartlett's going back down the mountain.
What a shame. I just can't believe it. I saw Bob Morris, who'd done such a brilliant job, first time out. Kevin, who was driving as good as Kevin can drive, and then, of course, I think I saw the Benson Brown car, Garry Rogers, that took the first place so well, and all destroyed in one big... I didn't even know what happened, but it's just so sad. And I suppose now when they drop the flag on this restart, the old adrenaline will start to rush, and we'll forget all about the accident and go for it again. That seems to be the way it is.
Can you get the adrenaline to pump? I mean, can you obviously turn off now to some reality and think to yourself, why am I involved in this? You know, you've just said it, I'm not immortal, that could be me.
Yes.
And then they'll regroup the cars and say, let's go race again. Can you wipe it straight from your mind?
Us human beings are crazy things. You know, I'll drop that flag and every one of us will put into gear and go for it. And we were forgotten all about the accident within the first 100 yards of the start, I'd say.
The organisation of the ARDC, it seems to be very, very impressive in trying to get the scene sorted out at the top of the mountain up there.
They certainly did a good job. They were very quickly on the scene. They got the line of everyone was stopped, and they got us to one side and let the crash vehicles through very, very quickly. The most efficient. The fire crews were on the spot straight away, and I thought it was most impressive. It gives you a comforting feeling when you know if you have involved in an accident like that, there's going to be such reliable people as the crew that service these points around here, the flag wave marshals, the fire marshals, the safety marshals that service the circuit here, and most of them are club people. They're all motor club people. They love motoring. That's why they're here. And it's certainly comforting to see them spring into action like that. And they don't get a lot of training, thank God. You know, these sort of things only happen every now and again. And it's surprising how quickly they got to work.
If you're a racer, if you had the decision now of whether let's call it quits while you're running strongly in your class, or let's race off the remainder of the event.
Let's get the job done. I just want to get the job done. I've been coming here for a long time, and it's a long time between drinks, you might say, and we're looking so good in the car at the moment. I just like to get the job done and get done with as much sort of credit as possible for Toyota.
We have information down from the Hardy Centre that an official announcement regarding the race is to be made within a matter of seconds, so we'll cross down there.
With the decision on the fate of the race from the Australian Racing Drivers Club, Ivan Stibbard.
Well, the decision is that the race is now concluded. We have covered 120 laps, and the regulations say that after 60% of the distance has been covered and the red flag is used, the race must be declared. We cannot have a restart.
Well, that means that Dick Johnson is the winner under those conditions?
Yes, he has won.
Well, I felt really, really sorry for you was in 1984 at that start. I think it was the Camaro that hit you, and that was it, and it was a brand new car. It was the struggle it was to get that car ready. I could see that on your face.
Well, it was a struggle financially, and it was a struggle for time. It promised so much because it was the first Group A car. It was the ex-Barry Sheen, Wynne Percy British touring car thing, and when we got it, it was a terrible motor car. So we were really under the pressure. We had a big sponsor, National Panasonic. We had to do the job, and we hadn't had a lot of sleep, and the start happened. I thought I was clear. Next thing, somebody in a Camaro pulled out in front to overtake another fellow, and I hit him fair up the backside. Big, I mean, I would have been doing over 100 mile an hour when I hit him.
10 seconds to the great race of 84, the James Hardy 1000.
Down goes the flag, and the 1984 James Hardy 1000 is underway, and it is George Fury, Peter Brock and Alan Grice running up with Head of Crane. Steve Masterton's gone in. Tom Wilkinson is stalled there on the starting line. The rest of the field passing him by. He's been collected by a Camaro. Peter Williamson has also gone into the side of his car, and we have the track blocked across the main straightaway. So we've had a very, very big accident here at the start of the race.
It's going to be a restart, surely. I mean, the traffic will never get through here. They're going to have to flag them down across the top of the mountain and bring them back for a restart. Oh, my goodness, look at it. Well, Walkinshaw stalled on the grid. The big Camaro, 34, slammed into him, couldn't possibly avoid him. Unfortunately, that's the Bundy and car entry.
And it hurt me. Broke some little fingers and stuff like that.
We have a Conrod
That's the Valentine RX-7.
The one that, of course, was to be driven by Murray Carter. So he has launched off the circuit up there. But we've been concentrating on the drama down here at the start-finishing area.
Moffat is okay, and his car also okay, apparently. So if it was him involved in that touch with Steve Masterton's Big Falcon, he came out of it okay. Masterton's car, we're still trying to get a report there.
But, oh dear, the Supra, Peter Williamson, very sad scene at the front. He's really taken a shunt.
Well, you can bet your life. I mean, those three cars are out.
I can't believe that the Jag would have escaped serious damage with that huge shunt from the Camaro.
Well, the marshals here trying to clean up the track as quickly as possible.
Well, the National Technics entry looks very sad and sorry indeed. Why don't we get across there now and see, now that things have calmed down just a little, if Colin Young can take us through the sequence of events.
Chaos down here on the start line, as you saw, a multi-car pile-up, and crash crews now trying to clear the way. I have with me Peter Williamson. Peter, what happened?
Well, I don't really know. They were stationary in front of me, and I was fairly motoring. I'd made a very good start, and right now I'm quite destroyed about it all.
Are you okay? Any injuries?
I've got severely cut mouth and tongue, and I've got a sore left shoulder, and I'm not feeling very well.
Well, this is a tough break at the Great of the Start race, and you must be very disappointed.
Well, I think that's got to be an understatement. I just feel blitzed at the moment. Thanks very much.
And it was a big disappointment for our whole team.
So you basically got out of your car business in 1986. Where did you go from there?
Well, I played around with property for a while, successfully and unsuccessfully. And then after 10 years of that, I'd had enough, and I thought I'd go up the north coast, and I saw a little taxi business advertised in Foster, and I bought this little taxi business, which now has become a very big taxi business. So I didn't really get away from anything, and that's where we are now. We're in 4 towns on the north coast. We employ 80-odd people, and it's been a success story.
One thing I remember, when you sort of departed the touring car scene, I really missed you, because you were the one that could pick up those little cars and carry them.
Well, we were good at what we did too. I had some good guys, and we knew how to get them to go, and we knew pretty well. There were important issues. We addressed them properly, and the cars, if you recall, the cars performed well outside what people's expectations. Even Toyota didn't think that their Toyota GT could do what it did, and it did. It was a good car. So we sort of.
I'm pretty convinced, because as an old salesman myself, that you got a lot of sales, sold a lot of Toyotas for Toyota.
Yeah, we did. We sold a lot of cars. Yeah, they were great days, and it was new. Toyota was new. It was exciting. I went through the period where you'd come into work on Saturday morning, and all the new cars were egged by the RSL people or whoever, and we went through that period of Australians not liking Japs because of the war, and then we saw the Toyota company become the biggest in the world.